I sat huddled in front of my computer, fingers hovering over the keyboard as I stared at the screen. My heart raced, a mixture of excitement and trepidation coursing through my veins. I had heard whispers of the dark web mystery box, a digital Pandora's box that held secrets and horrors beyond imagination. Against my better judgment, curiosity gnawed at me until I finally gave in to the temptation. With trembling hands, I navigated the labyrinthine depths of the dark web, following obscure links and hidden pathways until I stumbled upon a cryptic website. The background was a chilling shade of black, the text in a blood-red hue that seemed to pulse with a sinister life of its own. The website offered a single option: order your mystery box now. I hesitated for a moment, the gravity of my decision sinking in. The stories I'd read about these boxes raced through my mind: cursed objects, disturbing photographs, and the unexplainable. It was said that once you opened the box, there was no turning back. I took a deep breath and clicked the button. A confirmation page appeared, demanding payment in cryptocurrency. With a gulp, I transferred the required amount and waited. The site promised delivery within 72 hours, but time seemed to crawl as I counted down the minutes, each tick of the clock echoing in the pit of my stomach. 3 days later, a nondescript package arrived at my doorstep. It was smaller than I'd anticipated, wrapped in plain brown paper and secured with a single piece of black twine. My hands trembled as I brought it inside, placing it on the table in front of me. Moonlight filtered through the curtains, casting an eerie glow on the package. With a deep breath, I carefully untied the twine and peeled back the paper. A wooden box sat before me, intricately carved with unsettling symbols that seemed to shift and writhe in the faint light. Swallowing hard, I lifted the lid. The scent of damp earth and decay wafted from within, and I peered into the box. Nestled on a bed of aged, yellowed fabric were a series of items that sent a shiver down my spine. A tarnished key, a cracked porcelain doll with hollow eyes, a faded photograph of a faceless family, and a worn leather journal bound in twine. My hands shook as I gingerly picked up the journal. Its pages were filled with the scrawlings of a madman, disjointed ramblings about summoning ancient entities and making deals that would damn one's soul. The more I read, the more I felt a malevolent presence creeping into the room, as if the very air had thickened with an otherworldly darkness. As the night wore on, I couldn't tear my eyes away from the journal. The words seemed to blur and dance, and whispers echoed in my mind. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the curtains, sent my heart racing. I knew I should have put the journal away, locked it back in the box, but something compelled me to keep reading, to delve deeper into the madness. Hours turned into an eternity, and with each passing moment, I felt like I was losing myself. The walls seemed to close in, the shadows growing more menacing. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew through the room, extinguishing the candle I'd lit earlier. In the darkness, I heard a faint, chilling laughter, a sound that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Panic surged through me as I fumbled for my phone, its screen illuminating the room. But the light only revealed more horrors. The porcelain doll had moved, its head now turned to face me. The photograph had changed, now depicting a scene of unimaginable carnage. And the journal, its pages were filled with my own handwriting, detailing my descent into madness. I slammed the journal shut, desperately trying to shake off the feeling of impending doom. In the process, the wooden box toppled over, scattering its contents across the floor. As I scrambled to gather the items, a voice, a guttural, inhuman voice, whispered in my ear, promising unimaginable power and unspeakable torment. In a blind panic, I shoved the items back into the box, slammed the lid shut, and retied the twine. With trembling hands, I carried the box out of my room, out of my house, and into the pouring rain. And then, with all the strength I could muster, I hurled the box into the depths of a nearby river, watching as it disappeared beneath the murky waters. I wish I could say that was the end of it, that the horrors ceased and my life returned to normal. But the voice still whispers in the corners of my mind. The symbols haunt my dreams, and the feeling of being watched never truly fades. The dark web mystery box had unleashed something beyond comprehension, something that now lingers, waiting for its next victim. And as for me, I can never escape the knowledge that some mysteries are best left buried in the depths of the unknown. Legends of the dark web mystery box had reached even this remote corner of the world, and it was here that I found myself, unable to resist the allure of its whispered promises. The journey to the box was perilous, a digital descent into the abyss that left me questioning my sanity. but I was driven by an insatiable curiosity, a desire to confront the unknown head-on. As I navigated the shadowy corners of the internet, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that malevolent eyes followed my every move. Finally, I stumbled upon the elusive website, its design minimalist yet foreboding. The box was offered as a test of courage, a challenge to those who dared to peer into the abyss. Without fully understanding the implications, I clicked the Accept the Challenge button, sealing my fate with a virtual signature. The following days were plagued by a sense of impending doom. The mist in Crestfall grew thicker, tendrils of it slithering through the streets like living entities. I received a package just as the legends had foretold, its arrival unannounced yet expected. The box was a sinister masterpiece, adorned with strange symbols that seemed to twist and writhe in the moonlight. Summoning the courage to open it felt like an insurmountable task, but I knew there was no turning back. The lid creaked as I lifted it, revealing a collection of items that sent shivers down my spine. A worn-out pocket watch that ticked backward, a vial of shimmering liquid that seemed to hold galaxies within, a cracked mirror that reflected distorted figures, and an ornate key covered in an oily residue. Each item seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy, a power that defied reason and understanding. As I gazed at them, I felt a presence behind me, a cold breath on the back of my neck. I turned, but there was nothing there except the swirling mist that now seeped into the room. I couldn't resist the allure of the mirror. As I peered into its cracked surface, my reflection morphed into grotesque shapes, each one more horrifying than the last. My heart raced and I tore my gaze away, only to find the mist had thickened, filling the room like a malevolent force. I picked up the pocket watch, its backward ticks resonating with a sense of inevitability. With each tick, the room seemed to age, the walls crumbling, the furniture decaying. Panic surged within me as I realized the implications. The watch was unwinding time itself. I knew I had to act. I grabbed the vial of shimmering liquid, hoping it held the answers or the means to undo the horrors I had unleashed. But as I opened the vial, the mist converged around me, swirling and coalescing into monstrous forms. Faces twisted in agony, hands reached out from the fog, and whispers filled my ears, urging me to embrace the chaos. Desperation fueled my actions. I plunged the key into the mirror, shattering it and releasing a shockwave of energy that rippled through the mist. The room trembled, reality itself bending and warping. In the midst of the chaos, I glimpsed fleeting visions, a city engulfed in flames, a desolate wasteland, a creature with 1,000 eyes. With a final surge of willpower, I downed the vial of shimmering liquid, hoping it would grant me the strength to overcome the malevolent forces that sought to consume me. The room erupted in blinding light and then darkness. When I awoke, I was back in Crestfall, the mist now a mere wisp that clung to the edges of the town. The box was gone, its contents scattered to the winds. Had it all been a dream, a nightmare born from my own curiosity? Or had I truly faced the horrors of the dark web mystery box and emerged changed? The scars on my psyche were real, a constant reminder that some mysteries were never meant to be unraveled. The townspeople avoided my gaze as if sensing the darkness that now clung to me. And as I walked through the mist-shrouded streets of Crestfall, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had brought something back with me. Something that would forever alter the delicate balance between the natural and the supernatural. It was said that the mansion held the key to unlocking the true potential of the dark web mystery box, a gateway to unspeakable power. Despite the warnings from locals, my obsession led me to this decaying relic of the past. The mansion exuded an aura of malevolence, its very presence seemingly alive with dark intent. As I stepped through its creaking front door, a chill ran down my spine. The air was thick with dust and a foreboding silence. Moonlight filtered through the broken windows, casting eerie shadows that danced across the faded wallpaper. I ventured deeper, guided by an invisible force that seemed to beckon me forth. The mansion seemed to shift around me, its layout morphing and changing with every step. The walls whispered secrets and the floorboards creaked beneath my feet as if protesting my intrusion. Finally, I reached a room bathed in an unnatural crimson light. In the center of the room stood an ornate pedestal, upon which rested a silver key, much like the one I had received in the dark web mystery box. The key seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, and its presence sent shivers down my spine. A voice, cold and distant, filled the room, urging me to take the key and unlock the true power of the box. The temptation was overwhelming, the promise of power irresistible, With trembling hands, I grasped the key and felt a surge of energy course through me. As I inserted the key into an invisible lock in the air, reality itself seemed to warp and twist. The room dissolved, and I found myself in a realm of darkness and swirling shadows. Whispers echoed all around me, and twisted figures danced at the edge of my vision. I had entered a plane beyond comprehension, a realm born from the darkest corners of the internet. In the distance, a faint light glimmered like a beacon. Guided by a mixture of fear and curiosity, I followed the light through the shifting abyss. The whispers grew louder, their voices overlapping and intertwining, forming a symphony of madness that threatened to consume me. Finally, I reached the source of the light, a colossal, ancient-looking box covered in symbols that seemed to writhe and pulsate. The box radiated power, a power that promised to reshape reality itself. As I gazed at it, I realized the true extent of what I had stumbled upon. This was the heart of the dark web, a nexus of forbidden knowledge and malevolent forces. The box beckoned me to open it, to unleash its contents upon the world. But a flicker of doubt crept into my mind. The legends warned of the consequences, the price that had to be paid for such power. As the whispers grew more insistent, I hesitated, my hand trembling over the lid. In that moment of hesitation, the realm around me shook and trembled. The shadows writhed in fury, and a monstrous figure emerged from the darkness, a creature born from the collective nightmares of the digital age. Its eyes glowed with an unholy light as it reached out towards me, its voice a cacophony of screams. With a surge of adrenaline, I slammed the lid shut, cutting off the creature's advance. The realm convulsed, reality folding in on itself as I desperately turned the key in the invisible lock. The world spun and twisted, and then with a blinding flash, I found myself back in the mansion. Gasping for air, I stumbled out of the mansion, the weight of what I had witnessed settling upon me. The power I had sought was too great, too dangerous. It was a Pandora's box beyond imagination, and I had narrowly escaped its clutches. The mansion, like the dark web itself, vanished from the town, leaving behind only a lingering sense of dread. I knew that the horrors I had witnessed were a mere glimpse into the true nature of the darkness that lurked beyond the digital veil. And as I walked away from the decaying mansion, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had become forever intertwined with the mysteries and terrors of the dark web.